Hi, I want to give a quick walkthrough of what the course looks like. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply share my screen with you. And what I'll do is I'll just share my screen with you. And what I'm going to do is when you come into, if it'll open here, when you come into Canvas, you're going to find your courses up here, the courses you have. In this case, this one's not been published yet, so it's down here. And you click on it, and you're going to come in. There's going to be some announcements. Most of you've already found that. But you'll also find most of the bulk of the material in this course will be under this one that says modules. Now, as soon as I make an announcement, there will be in here. Those will also get emailed to you. You can always get the syllabus there from the side. You can also find the discussion boards here. You can click here to get your grades in the course. This should be your individual grade, whereas mine will just be the grade book. And you should find other things here. Some of these will be there, some of them won't. But the one that you're going to find most of the stuff that you need in is modules. The first module you will come to, and you should be in it right now, you're watching these videos in here. I said add 2 videos because I'm in the middle of adding videos. So I just made that as a note to make sure to add those. So you'll find my video that you're watching right now here. And then after that, you'll find like a little course overview. You'll find the syllabus and a course schedule. The syllabus and the course schedule, I would highly recommend that you print off. The syllabus will, if you look at it, it gives you, kind of what to expect, gives you my office hours, things like that. Of note, my office hours are listed 9 a.m. to noon on Tuesdays. I am usually going to be available if you email me any day of the week. Sometimes on the weekends, I'm not as quick at responding just because I figure it's the weekend. But during the week, I usually am pretty good about responding. Sometimes it'll be in the evening, but I will try to respond every day to your emails. But I'll be working quite a bit more. If you need to talk to me, have questions, email me or text me. But you can also set up appointments and I'll be around. The only thing is my schedule can vary a little bit day to day with my kids. And so 9 to noon on Tuesdays is kind of the time I've set aside to be available, that I know I can be on my computer, or at least have it close enough by that I can be, kind of engaging and answering questions and stuff like that. So if you go through it, it'll also give you all the format for the course, all the expectations. It will also give you kind of, what there'll be for exams, discussion boards, and give you kind of a little bit of detail on what I expect. The fact that I don't want you just to do the bare minimum. I want you to go above and beyond that. And if you meet the minimum, I'll give you, kind of an average grade. I would expect you to go above and beyond to get better than a C or an average grade on it. With that said, there's a schedule there of those. There's the summary paper information, gives you the details on how to do those. And then there is the grading scale. There's a place you can enter your grades in. And then there's the schedule for the course. So this is really kind of a thing I would recommend you print off and keep track of, because that's something that's going to have a lot of information that's important and useful. The next thing is what we call course schedule. Really all this is those checklists that you find at the beginning of each module, and there will be a link to this in each module. This is just a master list of all the module, what we're going to do in each module, what, the checklist for each module, and that type of thing. So I'd encourage you to print that off. And then when you get to say module 4 here, you see it's due Thursday, July 1st. You can just cross these things off as you do them. And it makes for a nice way to keep track of what you're doing. I would recommend you print that off as well. Those are really the only 2 things I recommend that you print off from the very beginning. After that, you'll find a little bit about me. I will, I introduce who I am. I have a little video here where I just show pictures of a couple of pictures of my kid, my wife, just tell you a little bit about myself in person. And then after that, I have a video on how to be successful in a college course. And I would encourage you to maybe consider watching that, as well as how to be successful in philosophy. You'll find computer requirements, expected requirements, and next steps. The next module, once you've finished everything in this, I would encourage you to click the module. It'll minimize it. And then the next time you come in, you log in to Canvas, the course will be minimized. And so, if you're on module 3, you don't have all these other modules open, so they're taking up space. Once you minimize them, they'll stay minimized. So the summary papers, these are the instructions for it. The summary paper is essentially the idea that when you are trying to give an argument for something, an ethical argument, one of the first things they try to teach you is to, that what they do is they teach you that you should be able to restate somebody else's argument in order to kind of understand it. The idea being that you train yourself to do something by watching others, mimicking others, and then going out and creating your own argument, your own ways of doing things. And so the summary paper asks you in each module to pick a topic. And then what I would do, and you can print this off from a Word file. That might be worth doing. I might encourage you to print that too, just as a note. But what you do is you're going to pick either Judith Jarvis Thompson's Defense of Abortion, and you're going to summarize her argument. You're not going to tell me your opinion on abortion. You're not going to tell me why you think abortion is right or wrong. You're not going to give me the arguments you've heard for why abortion is right or wrong. You're going to summarize Judith Jarvis Thompson's argument on why. Or if you want to talk about the drug war, you'll summarize Michael Humer's America's Unjust Drug War. I don't care what you think. I don't care what your opinion is on this. At this point, I want you simply to summarize the argument. You'll spend maybe 3 pages doing that. And at which point you then will provide a critique of that argument. When I say a critique of that argument, I mean, I want it to be more than just, I didn't like the article. I didn't think it was well written. I didn't, care for this or that. I want you to give somewhat of a thoughtful, the issue with this, was, I think when Thompson says this, that, if you take this example to its logical conclusion, there's a problem, or this just doesn't seem to work. I want you to kind of think about where they fail, where they succeed, and why, and be very specific about that argument. You can then give me your thoughts and opinion, and I do want to hear that, but I want that to come after you've given the summary, after you've been critical in a way that's fair. I don't want you just to say, I don't like the way they write, I don't like the way their tone, I don't like this or that. I want you to give a thoughtful response. If you do Thompson's article, then I would expect you to do Don Marquis' Why Abortion is Immoral. And if you did Humer's America's Unjust Drug War, then I would expect you to do Peter DeManoff's Against the Legalization of Drugs. And so you would kind of, if you do one argument one way on the drug war, I would expect you to do one on the other side. I will say, and I want to just make a quick note here, that by and large, when people do summary papers on abortion, I usually find that they usually just rely upon what they have heard about arguments about abortion. They don't bother to enter new ground or new territory. So I would encourage you not to do that. I would encourage you to try to not just rehash what you think the arguments are. Give the argument that Thompson gives. Give the argument that Humer gives. Don't give the argument that you're used to or you've heard. After you've read through that, you'll start in the first module. This first module is due on Thursday of the first week, and that's kind of fast. And the reason is because I don't want to, give you, a week and a half to do something that really doesn't take much time, and then not have as much time to do stuff that takes a couple weeks to do. This is really quick stuff. You're going to come in here. You're going to watch a quick introductory video for the module. You're going to look at the checklist. You're going to read a little bit. You're going to come in here. Well, let's just look at the checklist. You're going to kind of go through everything in the first section we already looked at. You're going to look at the summary paper instructions. You're going to do an introduction to yourself for extra credit. You're going to complete the What is Philosophy lesson. You're going to learn about the different types of philosophy, the different branches and where ethics fits in. You're going to read a few pages of Poyman's book, and then you're going to take a exam over all of this. Part of it's going to be a syllabus exam, and part of it's going to be a What is Philosophy exam. And then you're going to do this discussion board on terminology matters, stealing a brick, and you should respond to other people's posts. So there's a few things there. There's a lot of little things, but nothing big. And so that's kind of why we don't give you a whole lot of time to do that. After that, you'll get into the next module. And the next module has all those things. The only thing is the first summary paper is due and is to be submitted here. I would encourage you to submit it as a Word file or as a PDF. I discourage you from sending a link to a Google Doc unless you're certain it will work, because if it doesn't work, I'm going to consider it late. And don't use Pages and other things, because those file types have a hard time opening. So that you'll do those. So those will be added on, as well as all the stuff from the previous ones. You'll continue your way all the way through all the modules until you get to the last module, which is the final exam. During that module, you just have to take the exam and do one discussion board on a topic called an in vitro mix-up. The final exam is multiple choice. It comes from questions from throughout the semester. It is comprehensive. And you can take it twice with the highest score counting. So if you get not the best score, I would encourage you to retake it. I will say that the questions that you get may be different. There is a pool of questions, and just because you got questions 1 and 7 on the first take doesn't mean you'll get those on the second take. So be aware that you shouldn't just plan to take it real quick and look at the way you got wrong and try to correct it. You know, you will need to realize you may get completely different questions. You may get some of the same, but you won't get all the same. Okay, I think that's everything for this module. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask me. I just kind of want to give you a quick little walkthrough of how to do the course. Thanks.